Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Ayanati Graphic Design Wala and I am a level 1 student at the Half School Islamabad campus. So today a new project and my very specific project is trace the history, the transformation of the film industry. So ChatGPT, my first question to you is when and where did the film industry begin?
Walaikum assalam. That sounds like a fascinating project. So, to answer your question, the film industry began in the late 19th century. The earliest films were created in the 1890s, primarily in France and the United States. Pioneers like the Lumière brothers in France and Thomas Edison in the US were among the first to develop motion picture technology. Over time, the film industry evolved, spreading globally and leading to the diverse cinematic world we know today. If you need more detail or want to dive deeper into any aspect, just let me know.
Yes, more detailed answer on it because I don't understand what you say. Okay.
Of course, let's dive deeper. The origins of the film industry can be traced back to the late 1800s. In 1895, the Lumiere brothers, Auguste and Louis Lumiere, in France, held one of the first public film screenings in Paris. They showcased short films like workers leaving the Lumiere factory, which were simple, everyday scenes captured on film. Around the same period in the United States, Thomas Edison and his assistant, William Kennedy Laurie Dixon, developed the kinetoscope, a device for viewing moving pictures. Edison's company produced some of the earliest films, and the first public exhibition of these films took place in 1894. In the early days, films were very short, usually just a few minutes long, and they were often shown in Nickelodeons, which were small early movie theaters. Over time, the technology and storytelling evolved. Filmmakers started experimenting with longer narratives, special effects, and eventually the silent film era gave way to the talkies in the late 1920s. By the mid 20th century, the film industry had expanded globally, with major film hubs emerging in Hollywood, Bollywood, and other international centers. This evolution shaped the diverse and dynamic world of cinema that we enjoy today. If there's any specific aspect you want to delve into further, just let me know.
Okay, ChatGPT, please long answer.
Absolutely. I'll keep the detailed explanations coming. Whenever you're ready with the next question or topic, just let me know and I'll make sure to provide a thorough, in-depth answer for you.
Okay, so my next question to you is how did Thomas Edison contribute to early cinema?
Absolutely. Let's dive into that. Thomas Edison played a pivotal role in the early development of cinema through several key contributions. First, he invented the kinetoscope in the early 1890s. The kinetoscope was a device for viewing moving pictures. It used a loop of film that passed rapidly in front of a lens, allowing viewers to see a continuous motion. Although it was a peephole device and not a projector, it was one of the first steps toward motion pictures. Edison also contributed to the development of the first motion picture camera, known as the kinetograph. This camera was capable of capturing sequential images on film, and it was crucial in moving from still photography to moving images. Moreover, Edison's company, Edison Manufacturing Company, produced some of the earliest films. These included short films that were often shown in kinetoscope parlors. The films were primarily short, typically a minute or less, and they showcased simple scenes or novelty acts. One of the key impacts of Edison's contributions was the establishment of a more standardized approach to filmmaking and film equipment, which paved the way for future advancements in the industry. In summary, Edison's innovations laid the groundwork for modern cinema by introducing both the technology to capture and display moving images and by helping to create a commercial market for them. If you'd like more details on any specific part, feel free to let me know.
Yes, this specific topic I say. So please long answer on it.
Of
You
course, let's
when the long answer on and each and every question, so I will totally understand what you say.
Got it. I'll make sure to provide thorough and detailed explanations for each question, so everything is crystal clear. Just let me know what you'd like to dive into next, and I'll ensure you get all the depth and clarity you need.
Okay, so my next question to you is, what were some of the first films ever made?
Absolutely. Let's explore that in detail. The first films ever made date back to the late 19th century, and they were typically very short, often just a few seconds to a minute long. One of the earliest examples is the short film Roundhay Garden Scene, created by French inventor Louis Le Prince in 1888. It's just about 2.11 seconds long and shows people walking in a garden. Another notable early film is The Workers Leaving the Lumière Factory by the Lumière brothers, Auguste and Louis Lumière in 1895. This film is about 46 seconds long and depicts workers leaving the Lumière factory in Lyon, France. It's one of the first films to be publicly screened and is often considered a landmark in cinema history. In the United States, Thomas Edison's company produced some of the earliest films as well. For example, one of the first films ever made by Edison's team was The Sneeze in 1894, a short comedic clip showing a man sneezing. Another early film is Arrival of a Train at La Ciotat by the Lumière brothers in 1896. It's about 50 seconds long and shows a train pulling into a station. When it was first shown, audiences were reportedly startled by the realism of the moving train. As the industry progressed, these early films laid the foundation for more complex storytelling. Over time, filmmakers began to experiment with longer narratives, introducing the concept of plot and character development. In summary, the first films were groundbreaking in their simplicity and novelty, and they paved the way for the rich and diverse cinematic landscape we have today. If you'd like more in-depth details on any specific film or aspect, just let me
Okay.
know.
Okay, so my next question to you is, what affect our environment? How did early film evolve into storytelling?
That's a great question. Let's break it down in detail. In the early days of cinema, films were primarily short and straightforward. Initially, filmmakers focused on capturing everyday scenes or simple actions without any narrative complexity. For example, the Lumiere brothers films like Workers Leaving the Lumiere Factory were more about documenting reality than telling a story. However, as filmmakers began to experiment, they started incorporating basic storytelling elements. One of the earliest examples of narrative filmmaking is The Great Train Robbery from 1903. This film featured a clear plot, characters, and even some elements of suspense and drama. It was one of the first films to show a coherent storyline with a beginning, middle, and end. As the medium evolved, filmmakers began to explore more complex narratives. They introduced character development, conflict, and resolution. Early pioneers like D.W. Griffith further advanced narrative techniques by using cross-cutting, close-ups, and other editing techniques to create more engaging and emotionally resonant stories. The environment in which early films are made also played a role in shaping storytelling. Filmmakers resources and technology, which meant that they had to be creative with their storytelling. For instance, they often relied heavily on visual cues, body language, and facial expressions to convey emotion and plot, since dialogue wasn't a part of the silent film era. The environment of early cinema, such as the limited length of films, the novelty of the medium, and the public's fascination with motion pictures also influenced the way stories were told. Filmmakers had to grab the audience's attention quickly, and that led to the creation of dynamic and visually engaging scenes. As technology advanced, the ability to incorporate sound and then color further transformed storytelling. But even in those early silent films, the foundation of narrative was laid through innovative techniques, and it gradually evolved into the complex and multifaceted storytelling we see in modern films. If you'd like even more detail on any particular aspect of early cinema
Okay,
or how
so my next question to you is, what led to the decline of silent film?
Absolutely. I'm here to help you explore that in depth as well. Just let me know which specific area or aspect of the decline you're interested in, whether it's related to a certain genre, technological change, or industry shifts, and I'll provide a comprehensive and detailed answer for you.
Yes, detailed answer.
Absolutely. I'll dive into it thoroughly. The decline of certain aspects of the film industry can be attributed to multiple factors depending on the context. For example, in the early 20th century, the silent film era began to decline primarily due to the advent of sound in cinema. The introduction of talkies with films like The Jazz Singer in 1927 revolutionized the industry and made silent films less popular. Audiences were drawn to the new dimension of sound, and many silent film stars struggled to transition to speaking roles. Another factor in decline could be the rise of television in the mid 20th century. As TV became more popular, it drew audiences away from movie theaters, leading to a decline in cinema attendance and revenue. In more recent times, the decline of certain film formats, like traditional celluloid film, can be attributed to the shift toward digital filmmaking. Digital technology offered greater convenience, lower costs, and easier distribution, which gradually led to the decline of traditional film stocks. Additionally, the rise of streaming platforms has significantly impacted the traditional theater model with the convenience of watching films at home. Many people have opted for streaming services over going to theaters, which has led to a decline in certain types of traditional cinema experiences. Overall, the decline of certain aspects of the film industry is often a complex interplay of technological advancements, changing audience preferences, and shifts in the broad. Absolutely. So if you have any more specific angles you want to explore or any other questions that come to mind, just let me know. I'm here to provide as much detail and clarity as you need.
Okay. So my next question to you is why a film is performed and where place film is performed, and
Great
why
question.
leader is choose place where film is performed. How?
Got it. So to start with your first question, films are performed to entertain, educate, and inspire audiences. They bring stories to life, allowing viewers to experience different worlds, cultures, and perspectives. Films can evoke emotions, provoke thought, and even spark social change. Essentially, they are a form of artistic expression and a powerful medium of communication. As for the places where films are performed, traditionally films are shown in movie theaters or cinemas, which are designed with large screens, surround sound, and comfortable seating to enhance the viewing experience. However, films can also be shown in drive-in theaters, film festivals, and even in outdoor screenings in parks or public spaces. With the digital age, streaming platforms have become another popular venue, allowing films to be viewed on demand from virtually any. No worries at all. If you have any more questions or if there's anything specific you'd like to dive into, just let me know. I'm here to help and provide as much detail as you need.
Okay. So more detail. More
Absolutely.
detail.
Of course, I'll expand even further. When we talk about why films are performed, it's not just about entertainment, it's also about storytelling as an art form. Films can preserve cultural heritage, reflect societal values, and even challenge or change public perspectives. Filmmakers often use visual and auditory techniques to evoke emotions, create empathy, and transport viewers into different times and places. As for the places where films are performed, it's fascinating to see how that has evolved. Beyond traditional theaters, films are increasingly shown in unconventional spaces. For instance, film festivals around the world, like Cannes or Sundance, provide a platform for filmmakers to showcase their work to global audiences. There are also drive-in theaters that have made a comeback recently, offering a nostalgic and unique viewing experience. In addition, the rise of streaming platforms has changed the landscape entirely. Films are now accessible from home, and this has expanded the reach of cinema, allowing people from all corners of the globe to enjoy films at their convenience. If there are any specific aspects you'd like to dive deeper into, or If you have more questions, just let me know.
Please long answer on it, ChatGPT.
Of course, let's dive in even deeper. When we consider why films are performed, it's important to understand that film as an art form serves multiple purposes. Beyond entertainment, films are a powerful medium for storytelling, cultural expression, and social commentary. They can reflect the values, struggles, and triumphs of a society at a given time. Filmmakers use the medium to explore complex themes, raise awareness about important issues, and even inspire change. For instance, films like Schindler's List or 12 Years a Slave have had profound impacts on how audiences understand historical events and social injustices. On the other hand, films also serve as a form of escapism, allowing viewers to immerse themselves in different worlds, experience adventures, and explore fantasies that might not be possible in real life. This dual role of educating and entertaining is what makes film such a unique and powerful medium. When it comes to where films are performed, the traditional movie theater has always been the cornerstone. These theaters are designed to provide an optimal viewing experience with large screens, powerful sound systems, and absolutely, I'll continue expanding on that. In addition to traditional theaters, films are also showcased in a variety of other venues. For example, film festivals play a crucial role in the industry, offering filmmakers a platform to present their work to critics, industry professionals, and enthusiastic audiences. These festivals like Cannes, Sundance, and Toronto International Film Festival have become iconic in the film world, and they often help launch the careers of new directors and actors. Drive-in theaters, once popular in the mid-20th century, have made a bit of a comeback in recent years, offering a nostalgic experience where viewers can enjoy films from the comfort of their cars. This provides a unique, communal, and socially distanced way to watch movies. Moreover, the advent of digital technology has also transformed how and where films are shown. Many films are now released on streaming platforms, allowing audiences to watch them anytime and anywhere. This shift has democratized access to films, making it possible for people around the world to experience global cinema from their homes. In essence, the places where films are performed have evolved significantly over time, reflecting changes in technology, culture, and audience preferences. If you have more specific angles you'd like me to cover or any other questions, feel free to let me know and I'll be happy to dive even deeper.
Okay, nice. So my next question to you is, how did Thomas Edison contribute to early cinema?
Absolutely. Let's delve into that in detail. Thomas Edison played a pivotal role in the early development of cinema, and his contributions were foundational in shaping the industry. First, one of Edison's most significant contributions was the invention of the kinetoscope in the early 1890s. The kinetoscope was a device designed for individual viewing of moving pictures. It used a loop of film that passed rapidly in front of a lens, allowing the viewer to see continuous motion. Although it was a peephole device and not a projector, it was one of the first practical means of showing moving images to the public. In addition to the kinetoscope, Edison also contributed to the development of the kinetograph, which was one of the first motion picture cameras. The kinetograph was capable of capturing sequential images on film, making it possible to record motion. This innovation was crucial in transitioning from still photography to moving pictures. Edison's company, Edison Manufacturing Company, also produced some of their earlier films, which were short and often simple in nature. These early films included short, everyday scenes, novelty acts, and simple narratives. For example, one of the first films ever made by Edison's team was The Sneeze, a short comedic clip from 1894. Moreover, Edison's contributions extended to the commercial aspect of cinema by creating the first film studios and establishing a market for moving pictures. Edison helped lay the groundwork for the film industry as we know it. He also played a role in the development of film projection technology, which eventually led to the creation of public movie theaters. In summary, Thomas Edison's contributions were not just about the technology of moving images, but also about creating a commercial and industrial framework that allowed cinema to flourish. His work set the stage for the evolution of the film industry, making him a key figure in the history of cinema. If you'd like to explore any specific aspects further, have more questions, just let me know.
Okay, so please last advice to my audience to this conversation and this very memorable conversation.
Absolutely. To your audience, I'd say that exploring the history and evolution of cinema is not just about understanding technology, but also appreciating the cultural and artistic impact that films have had on society. Every film is a reflection of its time, and understanding that history can deepen our appreciation for the art form. I'd encourage everyone to keep exploring, stay curious, and always look for the stories that films tell because they have a unique way of connecting us all. Thank you so much for this memorable conversation, and I'm always here to help with more insights and discussions.
Okay, nice. Thank you for you. Okay, so Vivat, this was our today ChatGPT. I hope you like it. See you another ChatGPT, another session. Till then, Allah Hafiz, Pakistan, Zindabad, Ham School Zindabad.